Full disclosure, I have never painted a waterfall. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Fiona and I'm an artist and illustrator based in the Pacific Northwest. For this week's video, I'm going to be taking you through my birthday trip to San Diego. We stayed with my mom, who has an apartment there. We celebrated my birthday as well as seeing her dance competition there. I'm going to talk about what I did there and what I painted and drew because we went to the beach and I brought a bunch of supplies. I think that I honestly struggled a bit on this trip with drawing. I don't know if it was because it was such a new environment and the scenery is very, very different from Oregon. Even though I've obviously been to the Oregon coast plenty of times, I've painted there, drawn there, but it just was a bit different and it was busier, so I wasn't used to it. So there were just some factors going on that I think I just kind of struggled with the work that I did about in terms of liking it. I think that I was enjoying myself, but I just didn't really love the outcome of some of the work that I did. The first day, we got in around 1 p.m. We were waiting for our Uber, and so I got out my sketchbook and started sketching a few of the other people who were there waiting, which was a nice little warm-up. I just used a pen. I did a little bit of sketching when we first got there, just to kind of warm up. I sat out on her patio and just sketched the scene. I did that a couple of times while we were there because it was just so pretty and the trees were so different. I was just honestly so excited to sketch palm trees. I think that was like one of my favorite things to do. And then we walked to the pier. I got a little sketch in of the beach just while we were sitting, just a quick little colored pencil sketch. So the next day we had breakfast and then we went to it was low tide, so we ended up taking the bus to see some tide pools, which was really fun. And we sat for a little bit and I did a little sketch of my mom and Nadia, and Josh was writing. It was honestly really hot and I got a pretty bad sunburn on my arm because I think that the sun was coming from this way. So the arm that was like holding my sketchbook got like pretty burned, but it could have been a lot worse. That was one of my favorite sketches of the trip, I think, of the one with my mom and Nadia like sitting, and then I tried to like get little bits and bobs of things. I'm really glad. I was considering taking out the purple gouache that I had in my gouache palette because I didn't think that I would need it, but there were so many gorgeous purple flowers on the beach and like on the hills that were just what made it so much easier to having had that purple gouache. So I'm really, really glad that I kept it in. Then we walked along the beach and we went to see the sea lions that were further down, and that was so fun. They were so cute and chunky and would just like roll into the water like when the waves would come in, and they just like take out the sea lions into the water. It was so cute. Then we just came back to my mom's place and just relaxed. The next day was her dance competition, and she's been ballroom dancing for like over 10 years at this point. I think like 12 years. It was just amazing to see her perform, and she is so great, and her teacher is awesome too. We got to meet him, Yegor, and his wife Tatiana. And they were both really, really nice. She got first place in one of them, and I think third place in another dance, which was really cool. And then she also placed in the solo dance that they did. I'd seen her perform in one of her lessons many years ago, but I'd never actually been to a competition. So it was just super exciting to see. And she made her dress, which was really cool, and did all like the rhinestoning, and she makes all her own jewelry. But that was like a pretty long day, and we didn't really do a whole lot else. We were going to go because the pros were dancing that night to watch them, but I just was so exhausted. So me and Josh stayed back home. And I did some sketches because I had done a few thumbnail sketches while the sun was setting, of her back patio, and trying to like capture that. And then once it got dark, I did some more paintings just from those sketches, and did a few color studies of the backyard, or of her back patio and the view out into the hills. And that was really fun. I really want to practice doing that more. I think especially after one of my last videos where I did some of my favorite art books, and I talked about how Milton Avery, and I showed one of his drawing books that I have. He would go out on location drawing and then take those back to paint from, and it was so inspiring because I hadn't looked in that book in a while, and I just flipping through it again and seeing his sketchbook pages, and like how you can tell like how his sketches translated to his work was just so inspiring. And so I think it's a little harder for me to do than I would have thought. It is really fun because I'm more free with color in some ways, but I think combining the knowledge that you get from painting from life and painting on location with using those sketches back in the studio, or in my case, sitting on my mom's couch using the sketches, was really, really beneficial and can just really open up, I think, creativity. But anyways, so that was the end of that night. And then the next day was my birthday. So I turned 32. Woo! I just wanted to kind of have a chill day, but there's a bakery that I really wanted to go to, and so it's called Isola Bakery that I had seen on social media somewhere or another. We waited in line for so long. And the line even was getting even more long behind us. And we got up there and we were like so excited. We were planning out like which ones we wanted because they have a screen, with the menu. And then literally right before it was our turn to order, 3 of the 4 things that we wanted sold out. So that was heart-wrenching. And my boyfriend Josh doesn't really like sweets so much, so there wasn't really anything else, like both savory things that he wanted sold out. But they're really known for their croissants. So we ended up just deciding we'd get a few things there and then find, food elsewhere. But I got this almond croissant, which was one of the craziest things I've ever eaten. It was so good, but it was so insanely rich. And we were eating it in the car because we were trying to make it before the rain to the Botanic Garden. And so I got powdered sugar everywhere, which was not ideal, but it was really delicious. Anyway, so we found a lunch spot, and after that we went to the Botanic Gardens, the San Diego Botanic Gardens. And my mom actually had never been there either, and she's lived there or been going to San Diego for the past year, and then she's lived there for like 6 months, part-time lived there for 6 months or so. But it was so gorgeous. It wasn't as like manicured and like perfect as some other botanic gardens I've been to, like the Denver Botanic Garden or like the Chicago Botanic Garden, but it was still so gorgeous. They had a lot of like native plants, and they set up different areas like the rainforest. There was a Mexican garden, there was an African garden, and I feel like there were certain plants that could probably grow in San Diego that maybe wouldn't survive in like Denver or something. It was just a different experience from maybe other botanic gardens that I've been to. And I did a few sketches. I tried. There were so many trees. I honestly just wanted to stop and draw everything. There was so much that I wanted to draw and paint. I tried to just like hold my sketchbook and sketch a few things with a colored pencil or a pen. And then I did one painting where I was sitting down on a bench, and it was, I think, the rainforest garden, tried to capture a waterfall. And full disclosure, I have never painted a waterfall. I think there was maybe once in my sketchbook that I have done that. So I can't tell you why I chose that to paint, to do a quick sketch from in a place that I've never been. I can't tell you why I chose to do that one, but you know, I tried, and it turned out like a hot mess, but that's okay. You know, there were a lot of people because it was a lookout point too. So I think I chose the busiest place to just sit, but probably because there were benches and it was just gorgeous. I did take some pictures, so I think that I will revisit those and try again, because I think my values were just all over the place and I could not, for some reason, get it to turn out how I wanted it to. But that's the point, right? We're out here learning, we're trying, and you know, having new experiences and learning from those. So after the Botanic Garden, we had to go in and out, obviously, because I think I'd had it once a long time ago, but it had been a really long time and nobody else had tried it. So of course we waited in a super long line. It was really frantic and we tried that. And the results were mixed from everybody. I think I don't want to say anything that's going to offend, you know, any Californians, because I know can be very polarizing, this place, but I thought it was good. I think I had the best reaction out of everybody from it, and I did not try their milkshake. So I think next time I want to go back and try a milkshake. The next day was Monday, and that was the last day. That was the day we left, but my sister got us all up early to go on a walk down, because my mom lives like 20-minute walk away from the beach. And I did not realize that in California, it is all beaches are public access, which is amazing. So that was just a very nice surprise. We walked and I did a painting there, and it was freezing cold. It was so windy and cold, but it was fun to do. And I did a little thumbnail first, which I think helped me to frame the composition. I think because I had a little bit extra time and I wasn't really worried about the sun being as strong, because I burn in 5 seconds. We sat there and my mom walked a little more while we were all sitting there. Then sadly we had to go and we flew back, but it was a very, very nice trip, and to finally see my mom dance and to see her apartment there. And I'm very much looking forward to going back to San Diego and just trying more of the food and getting more used to painting the Californian landscape because I'm not used to it and was out of my element for sure. But I learned a lot and had a lot of fun, and just, yeah, look forward to going back. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, it would support me a lot if you gave it a like or subscribe to my channel. I will see you next week. Bye. Okay, I'm overworking it officially. I'm really overworking it. Okay, it's been overworked.